Hi, my name is Yvonne. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to talk about a bunch of the Caribbean islands that you can visit from a cruise. So I'm going to use Google Earth here to show you all the places I'm talking about. So right now we are talking about the Caribbean cruise ports. So a lot of them leave out of Florida. There's Miami, there's Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, and Port Canaveral. So those are and then there's Galveston out of Texas that also does Caribbean cruises. So I'm going to go over the different types of cruises you can take. The first one is coming out of Florida and going to do the Eastern Caribbean. So if you're doing a short one, probably a 3 or 4 day cruise, you're only going to go to the Bahamas. And a lot of the cruise lines have a private island in the Bahamas. There's Princess Keys, there's Ocean Cay, there's Celebration Key, which is Carnival's newest one. There's Royal Caribbean's, I can't think of it. Coco Key. So all of those are located in the Bahamas. And so if you're going to take a shorter cruise, you're probably only going to make it to right about here because it takes a while to get down, especially if you're coming out of Jacksonville or Port Canaveral down. But even Miami, if you're doing a 3-day, you're probably just going to stay here in the Bahamas. Now, the Turks and Caicos is pretty high up here as well. And only, I would say after this, you're getting on 7-night cruises. So if you're wanting to reach this portion, you're probably taking a 7-night cruise out of Miami or Port Canaveral. So the Dominican Republic has 2 cruise stops. There's actually La Romana here on the bottom. And then up here is Amber Cove. Both of them have really nice cruise port areas to where you don't even have to venture into the island if you don't want to. There are pools and shops and everything right there on the island. Over here, you're going to find the British Virgin Islands, which is Tortola. And then also the U.S. Virgin Islands, which there's a stop in St. Thomas. And Puerto Rico, you can go to San Juan on a cruise as well. So a lot of the eastern ones are going to come to right here. So this is going to be your 7-day Eastern Caribbean. It's going to be staying in this upper area. Now, if you leave from Miami or Fort Lauderdale and you're doing an 8 to 10-night cruise, then you're going to start getting into these smaller islands over here. They're called the Lesser Antilles. So there are some beautiful, beautiful islands here. I've been to most of these. St. Kitts is amazing. Antigua is absolutely beautiful. Guadeloupe is really nice. This little one. I don't know what that island is. So this is Dominica. So a lot of these, and Dominica especially, they have high mountains and volcanic areas with waterfalls. Dominica has rainforests and waterfalls. Absolutely beautiful. Over here in St. Kitts, they have monkeys. They have wild monkeys that run around. There's only a few islands that you can get to and actually see wild monkeys. Antigua, the swimming here, the color of the ocean, everything's absolutely gorgeous. This one's Antigua. So you come in here to St. John's Bay. This is where the cruise port is. And then you can come out to all the different bays. And there is so many different little inlets that you can visit in Antigua. And the water at all of these islands, absolutely beautiful. The Dominica, Martinique is one of my favorite islands. They are a French-speaking island. There is a huge volcano right up here near St. Pierre. This is the main town of Fort-de-France. Absolutely gorgeous. You can take boats from the cruise port here in Fort-de-France and come down to Troyes and over to St. Pierre. And there's actually a ship that will take you, if you are staying on this island, there is a boat that will take you from Martinique to Dominica and also to St. Lucia. And St. Lucia is a well-known one. Here, you get in all the way up here is where the cruise port is. And so if you want to come see the pitons, the Grand Pitons, these huge, right here, these huge mountains rising up out of the water. There's the petite one and the grand one. This area is absolutely gorgeous, but it is an hour and 45-minute car ride from Castries all the way down to see these. And this is volcanic sand down here. So you've got black sand. So a lot of the islands you're going to see, it's like a glittery grayish black sand, the volcanic sand. It is absolutely beautiful in the beaches. It very crystal clear water, but it doesn't look like it until you get right up on it because it's got the black underneath. At the top of St. Lucia, though, it has golden sand beaches. So all of these islands, they're totally different if you go to different areas. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that is where Pirates of the Caribbean, a lot of that was filmed, and that gorgeous blue water in there, you can see it all here in St. Vincent. So that is where you'll get to, oh, in Grenada. So Grenada is known as the Spice Island. They actually are one of two places in the world that grow our nutmeg, but they have so many spices. They have cinnamon trees. They had, if you are wanting real spices, Grenada is your place to go. And it's gorgeous. The ocean, so calm. All of these, if you're coming on the western side, the ocean's going to be calm. If you're on the Atlantic side, it's going to be really rough. So if you're looking to swim on any of these islands, you come here to the east or the western side. Don't go to the Atlantic side. And then Barbados over here, Barbados is absolutely gorgeous as well. They have a lot of great resorts if you wanted to stay for a longer time and not just cruising. So these are the Lesser Antilles Islands. So if you're going to go on a longer cruise, I would definitely check out going to those. Now, your next option of a cruise is coming out and going to the Southern Islands. So these are the ABC Islands. So everyone's probably heard of Aruba, but its neighboring island of Curacao, I would say, is much more beautiful even than Aruba. Aruba has a gorgeous beach that lines one side of it, and there are buses that run. You can take a bus from the cruise port for like $2 and ride it all day, come up along the beaches and come back down. There are gorgeous places to stay. There is Baby's Beach right here. It's a nice little bay with calmer water, so you can take your children there. Or you can go up to the more popular ones where there are restaurants and hotels and everything all along this stretch of the beach. So there is Palm Bay and Eagle Beach are up here. But what a lot of people don't know is this entire part of the island is desert. And you can do 4x4 Jeeps. They have excursions you can go on, and you can visit all of these. They have little water holes where water will spout up over it. So a great thing about these islands is Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, they are outside of the hurricane belt. Yeah, so no hurricanes usually most of the year, and their weather is mid 70s with a breeze all year round. High 70s, but great weather all year round, very dry climate, absolutely beautiful. Curacao is gorgeous because they have a whole bunch of inlets. So if once you get off of the cruise port, you can go to any of these different beaches and they are absolutely gorgeous. So if you're going to go to Curacao, we rented a car and we drove all around, and there's also caves in the center. There's a place called Hato Caves that you can go and hike the caves, but it is beautiful. And over here, this is for windsurfing. So they have all the different areas. You can come here and rent windsurfing stuff or kites. This is one of my favorite islands is Curacao. And then there is Bonaire. No, that's Klein Curacao. So that's a small one. So Bonaire over here is just recently getting cruise traffic. Doesn't have a lot of tourism sites. Wonderful for snorkeling. This Klein Bonaire right here is a protected wildlife island with nothing else on it. You can take a boat from the mainland over to Klein Bonaire and snorkel off of it. They'll drop you off and the current will push you along, and then you'll get dropped off to a beach. So if you love snorkeling, Bonaire is amazing. And there's a lot of local spots that you can go right off of the main island as well. So that is a Caribbean, Southern Caribbean cruise. Sometimes they will go around here and hit Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and Cancun and come back around and make a little loop right here. And the Cayman Islands are amazing. They are a tender port, so you do have to get on a smaller boat to get into the Grand Caymans, but they are also an amazing snorkeling site. And that's why they are a tender, because they don't want to ruin the reef. And so you're going to go in by boat to the island, and then you can take a taxi to their 7 Mile beach, or you can take a little boat out and go to one of the reefs that they have around it. So Grand Cayman is amazing. Jamaica has a ton of fun things to do. They have waterfalls that you can walk up and go down. They have absolutely beautiful beaches, a lot of great markets there. And then you've got your Mexican and Western Caribbean cruise. So in the Western Caribbean, you can come out to Cancun. You can go to Costa Maya, which I just did a video on both of those. So on that Western Caribbean cruise, you may be able to visit Roatan, which is a part of Honduras, but it's a private island. And there are great beaches over here and also great snorkeling as well. So it's a really good theme of the Caribbean islands is a lot of them are protected bays with great snorkeling and awesome beaches. So Roatan, if you want to go to a beautiful beach, they do have beach clubs. A lot of them aren't all inclusive, but you can go in and rent a chair and sit down and have drinks and food all day. And they have a lot of private taxis that can take you over to the beach. And the other one is Belize. And Belize has the Blue Hole where you can go snorkeling in. Absolutely gorgeous. There is Ambergris Cay here. This is another place that the boats can stop. And so if you're doing a Western Caribbean, you're most likely to hit Cancun, Costa Maya, and maybe Belize and Roatan if you're lucky. So those are the most common ports in the Caribbean. And if you're going to ask me my favorite, I would say you go for that 10-night, 12-night cruise and come down here to the Lesser Antilles. If you have the time, these islands are like none other. But I wouldn't pass up a cruise anywhere. So I hope this was informative and showed you a whole bunch of places that you haven't even heard of before. If you have any questions, leave it down below. Thanks for joining.